Hello and welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm not speaking from the rooftop of a $1 billion IPO or after ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. I'm doing this because I believe that someday someone listening to this might look back and say, oh yeah, it was possible. Oh yeah, it was possible. So today's podcast is gonna just be a little extension of that, but in a more intact form, and I target why startups IPO. You might want to consider that again. Why do startups IPO? Why? Why do IPO? You might want to consider that and think deep on it. Why do startups IPO? Recently, I stumbled across something strangely relevant. A clip by Daniel Boak on how to become a machine learning engineer. Now hold on. This isn't a tech tutorial, and yet, and you are not here to train a model. So, but then there's a line in that clip that stopped me in my tracks. I just got hooked. It's tagged reduce your search space. That's one of the points you highlighted. Reduce your search space. Now let's put there and think. Imagine this through your own lens. Maybe you're a founder. You are an indie hacker, a product builder, or just someone who, which sometimes like me, you love dreaming about ideas late at night. What does reducing your search space mean for you? Mean for me? Mean for everybody? Well, I'll tell you what it isn't. I'll tell you one thing that strikes out what what it means not to reduce your search space. Now, it's not about building 100 features. I'm looking at this from the lens of a builder. I'm looking at this from the lens of someone indie hacking. I'm looking at this from a team of people building products. I'm looking at this from someone dreaming up ideas in the procedure, in the precision of trying to build something. It's not about building 100 features. It's not about chasing the next trend. I think right now we're in the AI trend. Some years back, we're in the blockchain or cryptography trend, whereby people were like, okay, let's do blockchain all stuff. We're actually still there, but at the end of it. Right now, we're in the AI trend, and it's awesome to see people just say stuff. But then it's not about chasing the next trend. And it's definitely not about competing on noise. It's not about competing on noise. It's not about that. And sometimes, even me speaking here, I fall into that trap. I over-engineer things. I overthink things. Sometimes I try to innovate by doing more. But the real art of building product that lasts, building product that serves a real user, isn't in adding more features. It's in subtracting everything that doesn't move the needle. Okay, I want to build this for this use case, whereby your use case could be X number of users in a certain category. Now, who you are building these things for, when they begin to use it, does it solve the pain on the head problem? Does it at least reduce the issue on ground? You want to measure the things based on this metric. Does it at least reduce the pain on ground? If it doesn't, I think it's a good time to just pull it off. Pull it off. Don't waste your time over engineering, over thinking like I do sometimes. It's actually fun to over engineer things, because if you feel like, oh man, I'm the boss on ground, it's like it's a superpower to just write some code and just see the lines and thousands of lines you've written. Well, it's good. It gives you some morale, some good morale to do more. But then the essence of building product that really lasts is not doing this. Is thinking deep, like, okay, Will this product really serve the set of people? Will this product really attend to the need at hand, the pain at hand? You want to ensure that whatever thing you are building, at its core, serves or moves the needle. Moves the needle. You want to beat the competition. That's the question I want to ask you. Do you want to beat the competition? Because right now in every market, wherever you see a market, that means there's an existing competition already. Now, do you want to be the competition? Do I, myself here, want to be the competition? Then you have to make it feel like they don't even exist. You have to make it feel like these guys you're trying to compete with doesn't exist. And there's a principle to that. That's what Google mean by the 10x better principle. Not marginal improvement, not just another option on the market. You don't want to be the two and someone say, okay, that's another option. No. You want to be the two that so differentiate itself from the competition. Peter Thiel extensively wrote about that in his book, 0 to 1. And I think to a large extent, I believe to a large extent, that's what Hacker Card is predicated on. 0 to 1. How do you move from 0 to 1? Thinking, executing, building ideas. How do you move from 0 to 1? Well, that's what we're predicated on, right here. But a clear, undeniable leap in speed, experience, pricing, or all of them combined. Now, how do you beat the competition? As I said earlier, you can beat the competition in 3 forms, or in everything. You can beat the competition through speed. What you're offering, is it faster? You can beat the competition through pricing. Is it 10x cheaper? Is it 10x cheaper? And you can beat the competition through the experience. Okay, you beat this thing. What's the experience when I use it? That's the way you feel when you use a product. What's the experience? Is it 10x better than other commodities in the market, other utilities in the market? Is it 10x better than that? Than them? Now back to Daniel Book's idea. Focus is your edge as a builder, as an indie hacker, as someone in the corners, in the deeps of the night, trying to wriggle out ideas and trying to build them into reality. Focus is your edge. Focus is my edge too. When you build solo, what the world likes to call indie hacking, solo building, you don't have layers of strategy meetings or VC overhead, but you do have clarity. And clarity is your only real defense against fads, shiny trends, distractions, which are just dressed up as goals. Here's the real question. Can you protect your mission long enough to reach the world you are building for? Some weeks ago I was trying to build something, and I just got to the point halfway, and I just stopped it. I started ChatGPT again. Okay, what other cool things can I build? And halfway, I've not got to do something substantial to share with people, and I stopped again. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because at a certain point, there's frustration you're trying to pile up together. Frustration of I did this, but I didn't complete it, and you be like, "Am I really good at what I'm trying to do? Am I really good?" This question comes. Now, the real question you want to put in mind is, can you protect your mission? Can you protect your focus long enough to reach the world you're trying to build, to reach the customer, to reach the market you're trying to build for? Because the road to IPO isn't paved in valuation hype or PR headlines. It's built on focus, subtraction, and clear answer to why are we 10x better? You want to answer that question every time. I'm building a product. Okay, I'm building a product. Okay, why am I 10x better than what's already available? What will make me not to be something that will stack on the shelf of the market? What will make me to differentiate myself, like Peter Thiel will say, from the competition? So the question still lies. Why the startups IPO? We need to answer that question. It's a question that, irrespective of the category you fall into, maybe a founder with some ambitious fellows, or maybe you are indie hacking, you are solo, you alone, trying to build something from much idea. You need to answer that question. Why the startups IPO? It's not just to raise capital. It's not just for liquidity, but because at some point their clarity scaled. And that's what most of us miss. I miss that too sometimes. We miss that. Clarity that scales isn't a slogan. It's a brutal process of subtraction. Subtracting features that don't convert, subtracting audiences that don't care. You're building something and you can see that there are some category of people that just it's unnecessary. They just pass you by, pass the feature by. You remove all those stuff, you remove all those audience, in the product you're trying to build. It can also be in the realms of the feature you're trying to build. You say, okay, you have to use it. You remove those things. And you subtract efforts that feel good but go nowhere. You subtract them. That's the real reason a founder or indie hacker stays small. They confuse motion with progress. Now, if you're building solo, here's the truth. You don't need to do more. You need to do less better. Now, the less you're trying to do should be better. You don't want to do more and end up crushing yourself, but rather you want to do less and end up understanding the nitty-gritty of the less you're trying to do. I don't want to over-engineer a pen. The function of a pen is to write. I don't want to add some unnecessary feature to a pen. I don't do that. So that's what you want to aim for. Start with one thing. One feature. Let that be a slogan. One feature that solves the painful part. One user segment that can't stop talking about it. You want to reach out to some user segment, a user segment that that this thing will really solve their problem. That's the kind of user segment you want to go find. You look for them on X, on Reddit. You want to you have to go deeper than Reddit. You have to go into the subreddit, Reddit or subreddit, if possible. Go deeper. Now, one metric, and you want to look for that singular metric that moves or that proves people need it. Three things: one feature, one user segment, one metric. Don't chase distribution hacks or going viral. You don't do that. Instead, go narrow. Go narrow, then dig deep. Because when you get to that one thing, when you get that one thing right, that singular thing right, people will come to you. And that's how you scale. And that's how scaling begins. Do you want to IPO? First, earn obsession. You want to earn it. Then systemize it. Then make it repeatable. That's it. That's the hard part. And that's the only way clarity turns to capital. So thank you once again for listening to it. I think very brief. It's very brief. But then, I hope the message is passed. Why startups IPO? It's not just the glamour at NYC. It's not just the glamour at whatever thing or event. It's beyond that. It's going into the nitty-gritties as to the things I need to do. And Toselia said, what are the things I need to do? Reach the search space. If you don't reach the search space, you have a array of shiny objects, shiny things calling your attention. So the very simple thing you want to do is eliminate things that don't add up, things that don't add to the very goal, things that don't add to the very mission. If it's possible, make it singular, as I said earlier. One feature, one user segment, one metric. Three things that will show you growth. Excuse me. And once you've done these things correctly, and you begin to see little traction, that's a proof that something is there. That's a proof that, oh yeah, I could continue going. And that's the essence of all this. That's the essence. To reach IPO, you want to try these three things and repeat the process. Repetition, consistency. You want to try this and repeat the procedure. Then with time, you can see, okay, there's been compounding effect of what we've been doing all these years. So I hope we get the point straight, and I hope we apply this. That's very essential part of it. Application. So thank you once again for giving me your time, giving Hakakad your time. It's a privilege to just come up with ideas in this place and just share my thoughts, share our thoughts from this end to you. I know you're busy, I know you have a lot of thoughts to do, stuff to do, but thank you for this moment. Thank you for giving us such an opportunity to have a one-on-one talk, if I may say. Yeah, maybe. But thank you, really appreciate it. Have a good day.